everybody, we are back. Welcome to the Real Writers of the OC, where we interview writers all from the Orange County area. I've got the sunset behind me, yeah. If you like writing or reading, or you just are interested in creative ideas, keep it here. We are just like the housewives, except way less questionable fashion choices. The writer we are interviewing today, I'm so excited to have. She has two pieces in this book, The Truth That Can't Be Told. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it on any Kindle, whatever you read on. And she's working on a novel called Viva California, very apropos in our California setting. I'm so excited to have Marilyn Carvin. Hi, Marilyn. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, it's great to be here.
So Marilyn, let's talk about your pieces in The Truth That Can't Be Told, this anthology here. You have two pieces. I want to talk about a poem and a story. Let's talk about your poem first. What is truth? Question mark. It struck me as it sort of has a real question. I felt like the poem was like a question about spirituality or maybe not spirituality, but like connectedness with things. Give me more of a little bit of a background of how that idea came about and why you started writing that poem.
Well, it's a thing about reality that I think what different people in different situations consider truth or reality differently. So, if you're starving to death, reality is going to be different than if you're, living in Beverly Hills in a mansion or something, or Laguna Beach. I went through kind of a dark night of the soul type of thing. And so I started reading. Someone introduced me to a lot of Uspensky's, Gurdjieff, and I don't know, all these, it's been so long now since I read them, but all these different like Eastern philosophy writers and stuff. And it's sort of, I felt it expanded my reality because I'd had 17 years of Catholic education. And so what was truth was like, right. And all of a sudden it was like, oh, wow, the number of, or the quantity, multitude, whatever you want to say, of viewpoints of what is truth and what is reality and what is humanity and what is this universe and what, all this is so much bigger than anything I'd ever thought of. And I had some experiences where I looked at things in a whole different way than I'd ever seen before. And that's basically what that is, what the poem is about, are these things when I looked at something, all of a sudden would see something that I was like I was looking through something or seeing something that I had never seen before. And maybe it'd only just be a split second, but I would feel like, oh, yeah, that is an expansion of reality, an expansion of truth, more true than whatever we're all concerned with in our little experiences,
I like that because I think that I believe we have more senses than just the five. And if we open ourselves up, you can really experience things. But the other thing that you said that I love so much is like how, reading all these different things just opened your mind. I mean, for everybody, that's the power of writing. That's the power of reading, is that it doesn't take a lot. You just have to read something to really expand your mind in all sorts of new ways.
Right.
So we'll lead into Goddess, which I thought thematically had a little bit of a similar theme to it, in terms of those kinds of questions or answers or thoughts. But it is I love there's a twist at the end, and I'm not going to give it away. But it's just such a fascinating point of view. And I have always been fascinated with Greek gods and that whole thing. And so there's an element of that. So tell me about that. Did you read Ovid's Metamorphosis?
No.
Oh, it's just like this old guy, Ovid. He wrote all the myths down. But anyway, tell me what the Genesis of Goddess was.
Yeah, actually, I might have read it and don't remember it because it sounds like something I might have read in college or something.
Yeah.
um, yeah, yeah, it's the same way. Billy was talking about it being so sensual or something, but I actually was not thinking those terms. I was thinking more in terms of, as you were saying, we're so limited by our senses. Our humans, we can only feel so much, smell so much, see so much, and I mean, like what dogs have supposed to have 1,000 times better smells or something. And we've developed, fortunately, electronics and whatnot now that can sense something and translate it into something that we can see or hear or something. And so we know that there are things there that we can't see, that we can't, and so that's what I decided, well, okay, this woman remembers being a goddess, and the gods didn't have human bodies, so they were much more sensitive to all kinds of things. And then, of course, when she was put on Earth again, she still remembered some of those things. And of course, that's this getting back to one's reality. Her reality was very different from everybody else's, and her parents even sent her to a child psychiatrist who fortunately was one who recognized, well, this is this little girl's reality, and she's a very imaginative, creative little girl, and she just let her have her viewpoint, but then also made sure she understood the mores of our society so that she wouldn't be offending people or shocking people the way she had been doing. So that's
Yeah,
basically it.
I totally got that. And it's just really, you guys out there, you have to read it, because especially in the end, it does make you think. And it puts into it, well, it makes you think. Okay, I don't want to ruin it. Are these kinds of subjects things that you've always been interested? Why you started writing? That's the question.
I remember,
It sound like a question.
I remember when I was younger, telling stories to people. And I remember, I don't know, 7th or 8th grade or something, I wrote a story about Mary Magdalene. And then I was very shocked when a few months later, I picked up a magazine from school or something that had a story about Mary Magdalene. And I thought, my story, somebody stole my story. Well, of course, I had never shown it to anybody, so nobody stole it. It was just, what can you say about Mary Magdalene, But I'm thinking, I've always been, I might say devout or something, and very interested in understanding life and why people behave the way they do and all that. And when I read psychology books or something, I felt like some of the guys that wrote these books are crazier than I was. So I didn't trust that. So but yeah, I have been very interested in that. And I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like your work that I read, that these pieces in here that have a real psychological element to them, which I enjoy. Moving on to, so speaking of, tell us about you're working on your novel. It's called Viva California. So yay, California. So tell me a little bit about the novel, and so we can all get excited about it when it comes out.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Let me read my pitch. Illegal immigrants have been struggling up from the southern deserts, over the eastern mountains, and down from Oregon. Texas has been lost. What are Californios to do as the newly arrived Americans ignore Mexican laws? Norteños clash with the Sorteños. Hostile Indians raid ranchos, and settlers in return burn their rancherias. Into this turmoil wanders a young Irish dreamer, escaping his past, seeking a bit of land, true love, and God's will. How will he maneuver his way through this confusion? At Sutter's Fort, an Irish-American girl, surrounded by wild beards and buckskin, prays. how can one fulfill one's dream in the chaos of California?
How cool. Oh, it's so interesting to learn about or just to think about California history. And I know this takes place in 1845. Did you do a lot of research for this novel?
Yeah, I started this, well, how I started, my daughter introduced me to Diana Gabaldon's Outlander. And I read Outlander's Companion, and I thought, oh, I want to write something like that. Only he can't be a Scotsman, he's got to be an Irishman. But when I read all the Irish books, there was either mythology and legend, or it was famine and death and oppression, and so agonizing. I thought, I can't write about that period. So I thought, what do I know? I know California. I'll bring my Irishman to California. And then my husband, when we were traveling around, we would visit, Sutter's Fort, Monterey, Sonoma, all the adobes in Southern California and the missions and stuff like that. So we did it, I kind of fit it into whatever I was doing and took lots of notes. The trouble is that most of my notes now, when I try to read them, I can't read my writing. Anyway, and of course, read as many books as I could on the subject, and created my Irishman, which is another getting to that reality point of view too, because my characters are not typical characters because they're going through that same thing of their reality is so different from other people's. I mean, my Irishman is so devout, and he can't understand why other men are the way they are. I mean, how can other men do the things they do? Don't they want to go to heaven? Don't they want to serve God? This type of thing. And his brother is totally, he's rejected God totally. All he wants is whiskey, women, and fun and pleasure, and he wants to die young, and that's, she was talking about the first chapter. I don't know whether she's actually talking about the first chapter of the novel. I took the first chapter and took it away and expanded it and made a prequel out of it, where he and his brother are in Valparaiso, Chile, on the way to California. They've traveled, around the Horn and had their ship wrecked, and they were ruined in Valparaiso for a year or so. And so things happen there where Michael's faith is crushed. And I mean, he really goes to a dark night of the soul right there. And then in the novel, there's all these references to that, what happened in Valparaiso. And he has these flashbacks, these pictures, and he won't bring it up. Every time Billy finally arrives in California, and when he talks to him, he won't bring it up. He's like afraid to bring it up. So that kind of runs through the whole novel of what happened in Valparaiso.
Cool. How cool. And you know what? I love all those themes. And also, I took a class in college where we learned about, I'm not a big history buff, but we learned about history through historical fiction. And I just think it's such a wonderful way to, if you're not a huge history person, like I am, you don't want to read a textbook or memorize a timeline. It's just such a cool way to learn little bits and pieces about history and our great state of California. Marilyn, thank you for joining us. It's been so great to have you. Everybody check out The Truth That Can't Be Told. You can get it on, again, I like a book. I don't know, but if you have a Kindle or an e-reader, you can also get it there. You can go to the website, thetrutthatcan'tbetold.com, and look for Marilyn's book, Viva California, a great title and easy to remember. Marilyn, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Okay, and bye, everybody. Bye. See you next time.